This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of CWK Live, Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm your host, Dan Zare, thrilled to be talking Star Wars with each and every one of you. Let's bring in our friends. Hello, Mary. She says, happy Ahsoka Trailer Tuesday. Yes, we will definitely talk about that. And Mary, it is great to see you as always. Tyler Pompous back. Hello, Tyler. Great to see you, my friend. Terry is with us too. Hey, Terry. It is great to see you. It's great to see all of you here on CWK Live. Always a huge boost to my week to talk with all of my Star Wars friends. Let's do this. Let's talk about what is going to be happening on the show tonight. We have got your top 5 moments from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny as promised. Now that the proverbial dust has cleared and we have all had a chance to see this film, we're going to talk about your top 5 moments from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And we had the final Ahsoka trailer, which aired today. So we will certainly be talking about that one as well. And naturally, your comments and questions. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's brewing in the world of Star Wars this week.
And now, let's see what's brewing in the Star Wars universe this week.
All right, so we had, we were one of a couple of fan sites were able to break the exclusive news of these new Hasbro action figure announcements. Jason is back. Boy, it's good to see you, my friend. He says, hello there. Nice to be back with you all after some time away. Great, Jason, it's great to see you, buddy. We, of course, saved a spot for you right in the front row. We are looking at these exclusives. We got to be one of the few fan sites to reveal. First is the Black Series Qui-Gon Jinn Force Spirit, an excellent likeness of Liam Neeson. This, of course, was the Qui-Gon Jinn we got to see in the final episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. A great looking figure. Naturally, Hasbro does nothing but the best work. And then the Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi Legend. This is like an awesome version of Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness. It's the Obi-Wan Kenobi from the end of Obi-Wan Kenobi's Disney Plus series. But it comes with some great accessories. I'll show you here on the next slide. So on the left, you can see you've got Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi in his full battle gear with that great white tunic. And then on the right, he's got the robe, and then he's holding the small shuttle in his hand, the T-16 Skyhopper shuttle that he eventually gives to Luke Skywalker that Luke uses in A New Hope. Tyler says, going to need 2 of that Jedi Legend Obi-Wan. That thing is awesome. As you probably know, I've said it several times on the show, I don't often get tempted by Black Series stuff only because there's only so much room, but boy, that is a tempting one, especially because of the whole Obi-Wan Kenobi business of this particular podcast. So, seems like something I should really be looking at. Now, you also saw today the announcement. We posted it on the website and on social media. The Ahsoka trailer, and Disney released a bunch of new key art and stills from the trailer itself. This is the new poster of Ahsoka. It's an absolutely gorgeous image featuring Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano herself, but a really terrific one. I know the internet's been abuzz with this image, and rightfully so. I mean, look how cool it is. Here are some stills from the trailer. There's one, of course, of Ahsoka getting ready to duel or perhaps practice or meditate. It's hard to tell, but it was a cool moment from the trailer. And then a lot of the images that Disney provided are of Sabine Wren. They show a really cool moment when she's cutting her hair in the trailer. Here are some images of her from the trailer itself. There is the great mural behind them of Sabine's artwork from the end of Star Wars Rebels, of course. And then you can see this is also Sabine before she cuts her hair, racing on Lothal, most likely. She's got the the iconography on her helmet itself, which is pretty neat. Both cat included. And then this particular image from it as well. Terry says that trailer is awesome, and it says he answered a few questions I had and makes me want to see the series even more now. I know, and then we find out that not only is it coming out on August 23rd, but we're going to get 2 episodes that drop at once. Tyler says, it's too bad Ross isn't here. The Sabine gang rises up. I know. I thought of that too, as big of a Sabine fan as he is. So there you go. I thought there was some cool stuff there in that. I debated not watching it because, I've been sort of vacillating on that whole should I watch the trailer thing or not, but I had to do it. I mean, it's Ahsoka, and I just couldn't wait. And I knew I wanted to talk about it with all of you. Here, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do it now here, or we can certainly do it at the end of the show. Either way, it's going to be fun to see this series. I've got a lot of questions about what's going to happen, which of course I will do my best to sort of try to hide it in the recesses of my mind, so I don't even share my own questions with myself. Blake is here. Hello, Blake. Good to see you, man. Great to see you on the show. We were just looking at some new Black Series figures and talking about the Ahsoka trailer. But now it's time to jump into your top 5s. Again, tonight's show, we've got your top 5 moments from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The final performance from Harrison Ford. Excuse me, sorry for that awkward pause. I had to get a drink. So there you go. Top 5 moments from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I still have only seen the movie once. I still plan on seeing it another time, but I'm excited to talk about it. I listened to the review. I listened to plenty of reviews and read a lot of stuff online about it. It's been great seeing everybody's reactions to this. Let's go ahead and jump into our top 5s. My number 5 here is teacher fatigue. No, not mine. It is summer, after all. But there's a moment early in this film where Indy is teaching, and you can tell the atmosphere in his classroom is significantly different than it was when he was a younger man. And, that hits close to home now. That hasn't happened to me yet. I've still got some good years and mileage ahead of me, I think. But it's a reality that all of us in our professions will face, whether we're teachers or not. And so I just like, whenever they take fictional characters and try to add an element of realism to them, I thought this portrayed rather nicely and effectively and rang quite true. So very cool use, and that's sort of an early on indicator that this movie is going to take the character of Indiana Jones a little more seriously as a fleshed out human instead of an adventurer. Terry's number 5, young Indy train scene. It was a new sequence that felt like the older movies. That's great. I am glad that you enjoyed it. I am glad that it worked for you, Terry, definitely. Does anybody else have theirs? I know a lot of you are jumping on now, and I don't want to pass anybody up. Jason has not seen the movies yet, so I'm going to head out now. Sorry to only be here for a short bit, but I'd like to avoid spoilers. Hey, Jason, no problem, buddy. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. We look forward to seeing you next week. Tyler, the time travel. It's hard to do good time travel without a DeLorean, but this did a solid job. I enjoy the grounded mathematical approach to it. It was all very heavy into mathematics, wasn't it? And I joked on the show last week when we reviewed Dial of Destiny that I had a bit of time travel fatigue, but I agree with you. They did do an excellent job of trying to capture it and to make some sort of a rational, logical way to approach it. So I agree with you. All right. Well, I don't want to pass anybody else, but I'm going to go ahead and jump at number 4. If you have a number 5 that you want to throw on a little bit later, please go ahead and do that. I'm stalling because I know some of you are feverishly typing right now. I know we're talking about Indiana Jones, but the force is telling me that some of you are typing right now. Look at that. Number 5 for Mary is the train scene, the entire train sequence. Overall, Mary liked quite a bit, and she put that as her number 5. Excellent. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 for me is eels. Now, I said earlier, so was that the big animal sequence? We had snakes, we had ants, we had bugs, we had rats. That eels thing didn't last very long, but I like that they did it. I like that there was something underwater. I've long thought it would be so cool if there was a shark sequence. for Indiana Jones, for him to be not to be scared of sharks, would be in a sequence with those kind of animals. They went with the eels thing. And while it was brief and it was very kind of quick and frenetic and hard to sort of see what was happening with the eels, I thought it was a fun, kind of a creepy moment. Terry's number 4 is Helena's plan of escape from the boat. That was a great moment. That was probably my favorite Helena moment from this actual film itself, for sure. And I will save my comments on that for a little bit later in the show. While you are, let's see, number 4, yes. While you're thinking about that, I'm going to post this up here because people have been asking me about it. The next trip Coffee with Kenobi is taking is the summer 2025, so you've got 2 years to plan. And it's going to be aboard the Disney Wish, which has a significant Star Wars aspect of it. It's at coffeewithkenobi.com/mousefantravel is where you're going to ultimately go to get a price quote and to let them know you're going to be with the Coffee with Kenobi group. But I wanted to throw that up there. I'm sure I'll bring it up a little bit later in the show. But I wanted to bring it up here too because I know a lot of you have asked about it. Number 4 for Tyler, Helena Shaw. I enjoy the unpredictability of her at her core. She was a kid acting out and getting to see her maturity and mature and grow up and come to love Indy was a joy to watch. It was neat, the dynamic between the two of them and how it evolved and how strained it was at the beginning on both sides, really. Indy's very guarded and has a hard time, I think, being close to people because he's lost people he loved for various reasons. So I thought this was an interesting dynamic that James Mangold and the creatives behind Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny brought up for us. All right, let's go ahead and go into number 3. It makes me so happy, by the way, to look over my shoulder and see Chopper waving at me. But that's, if you're watching the live show, you know what I mean. 3, I put Through the Labyrinth. This was a cool moment in the film because it's one of the few times Indiana Jones gets to flex his archaeological muscles and solve sort of things on a live dig or a find or an expedition or a cave or whatever that archaeologists in this fictional world do, or in real world too. But I really enjoyed it a lot. It was just cool to see Indy being Indy and solving mysteries. That was really cool to me. Terry's number 4, the tuk-tuk chase scene through the city. And he knew where he was going, but Helena and Teddy didn't think he did. It was kind of cool to show that experience is just as important as youth and energy. Now, Indy had plenty of energy, but he knew where he was going. They didn't trust him because they didn't think he knew, or they didn't want to trust him because they thought they could take care of themselves. So it's a cool little lesson there. So I like that you brought that up. Terry says, I miss waking up every morning wondering what wondrous adventure the new day will bring to us, from Sala. That was a great moment. It was great to see John Rhys Davies as Sala back in this one for sure. 3 for Mary, all the bugs in the underground, pretty disturbing for everyone. Yes, it wasn't ideal. Also quick, I debated if that was going to be their monster scene because the eels thing was quick too. But the bug thing was even quicker. I know some people have said, hey, why would he be scared of bugs? I don't know that he was scared of bugs. I just don't, in my opinion, when he was living that, he just didn't want to have them crawling all over him, which I get. I mean, bugs don't bother me in the least, but I don't think I would have loved that either. Tyler's number 3, Jurgen Voller. Between him and the High Evolutionary, I'm loving this run of just unredeemable villains. His questioning of the hotel worker was chill-inducing. Look, Mads Mikkelsen plays a terrific, eerie, creepy, sinister villain, and he very much is on full display here with that. There's no question about that. He is very effective, and when I saw that he was going to play the villain in Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny, I knew it would be a perfect fit. All right, let's go ahead and jump into number 2. Number 2, I have Elena's sleuthing. Now, Terry brought this up earlier, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit more here, but I initially didn't think that this would be one of my favorite characters because I am such a big Indy fan. I just wanted to be all about him, good, bad, or indifferent. To my surprise, I really loved this character. I thought Helena was terrific, and I thought she was played beautifully by the actor who portrayed her, and L3. So I thought she was terrific. I thought she was effective. But the sequence where she is trying to decipher this puzzle, this clue to find where the dial of destiny, the other half, was great because she was fooling all of the villains, but also trying to get Indy to show that she was working with him, trying to get him to light the dynamite and with the cigarette. And it was just cool. It was really, really fun the way she was playing on the villains' egos and walking around the boat. I thought it was my favorite scene with her for sure. All right. Number 2 for Mary. Mads was a fantastic bad guy. At first you weren't sure about him. He seemed to be disgusted with what Hitler was doing, but then we find out he feels like he could have done it all better. Yeah, very new twist on the villainous dichotomy of the Indiana Jones bad guy. And so I'm thinking they could trump one of the most evil people that ever lived. Was fascinating and scary, but very well done. Tyler's 2. Salas saves the day. I got super hyped when Salas shows up and takes Indy back to his place. He's always looking and even gets his gear to him at the airport, a true friend. That was neat. Not that he found it under Indy's bed, the whip and the fedora, and that he worked with him, and you find out that Indy helped Sally get over to America and helped his family. That was nice to see. I like when they fill in gaps in story that don't necessarily play out on screen, and maybe it wouldn't be as poignant for an Indiana Jones film to show it, but they talk about it, and it helps you see that Indiana Jones' humanity is what makes him the hero we love so much, because he's compassionate too. Terry's too. A few times in my life I've seen things speech. That was a great moment as well. Mary says, I was disappointed they killed off Antonio Banderas' character. Really liked him. I feel like that was really unfortunate. I feel like they just kind of threw that character away. He's such a great actor. And really good on screen. He's done his share of great action moments too. And I wish we could have seen more of him. I have another classic indie sidekick that works with him and that actually lives through a good sequence of the film and is effective at helping Indy save the day, for lack of a more expressive, powerful way to put it. So I was also disappointed what happened with that character as well. All right, let's go into number 1. My number 1 moment from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Marion and Indy. I was going to put the sequence where Indy talks about what happened to Mutt. That got me choked up in the theater. But when Marion returns at the end of this thing, and she and Indy reconcile, the serious pain between both of them was really great. This really effective. Karen Allen is terrific as Marion always. And I was thinking about this. They might be my favorite fictional couple. I'm not really into like romance and fictional stuff. I just am not, for whatever reason. My wife teased me for that. She'll be like, other fictional stuff. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it. But for whatever reason, Marion and Indy really works so well for me. And I just love them together. And I was afraid at the end that wasn't going to happen. And it did. And I was glad to see the way they did it. And they didn't do it sort of like with Scotch tape. They actually used some good solid emotional cement to connect these two together again, which was terrific. Terry's number 1, a similar line, where does it hurt scene, brought back all the feels. That was great. That got me emotional as well. Tyler's number 1, 1944. A thrilling start to the movie, hits all the classic indie beats, and the de-aging was very impressive. It was really cool. It was a good 20-minute sequence too. So it makes you wonder if we'll get a figure of Indy from the beginning of this thing too. Mary, the final scene with Marion and Indy. Perfect call back to circle back around the beginning of our journey with Indy. I agree. It was a nice little bookend. Tyler, fictional couples might be a fun pour-over topic. Oh, you know what? That would be a really good challenge, Tyler. But all right, noted. I will certainly keep that in mind and pass along to Corey and Tom. Speaking of pour-over, if you are interested in supporting me and helping out the show, there are 2 major ways you can do it. 3 ways you can spread the word about these live shows, tell people about the show online, and Have them become members of the CWK Alliance at coffeewithkenobi.com/CWK Alliance. When you are there, you can receive access to CWK Pro, which is the exclusive weekly podcast not heard anywhere else, hosted by me, Corey Clubb, and Tom Gross. We talk about Star Wars and all kinds of things in the world of popular culture. So next week's top 5. I'm kind of dreading this. We're going to rank the Indiana Jones movies. We do top 5s. There are 5 Indiana Jones movies, so we're going to rank the Indiana Jones movies from least favorite to your most favorite ones. This is going to be fun. I hope we get a lot of people to join us next week. Please let your friends know, tag them, bring them in, invite them to join us on the live show. And they too can help us rank the Indiana Jones movies. Should be a really good time. Now let's go ahead and jump into Ask Dan Z. All right, so it's time to Ask Dan Z. Let me know what's on your mind. If you have any questions about Star Wars, my thoughts on things. This is also a good time, as I said at the beginning of the show, to share your thoughts on the Ahsoka Tano trailer. I think there's plenty of cool stuff to talk about, and I would love to see what you all think. Ahsoka is, of course, such a great character, and I was thinking today about her history is really as rich or richer than, like, say, Luke or Obi-Wan, or maybe even Anakin / Darth Vader himself, because we've got so much content. So adding more to Ahsoka, pretty cool. Really cool. Minta says, this is a shout out to Minta. She has been affected by the flooding in the Northeast. Yes, we're thinking of you, Minta. She actually reached out and told me that she wouldn't be able to join the live show tonight because of all the flooding. So we wish you well, Minta. Look forward to chatting with you next week on the live show. So thank you for bringing that up, Mary, for sure. All right, well, if nobody has any questions for me, that is totally great. You're probably all watching the All-Star game, which is what I'm going to do as soon as the show is over. Blake says, me and the wife are working our way through The Office again. It's my favorite TV comedy. What shows? You know, Blake, I've actually never seen all The Office, surprisingly. My kids like it, or the older boys do. My favorite comedy is Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, those two are just really superior to me. Tyler's very excited for the Ahsoka series. They're going to be on the Wish during the series, so I'm hoping they play it. I'm sure they will. Or on the theater they have on the ships. Now that would be cool. I hope so too, Tyler, because I look forward to seeing your thoughts on it. Mary, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Look, again, I appreciate so much you being a regular on the live show. It means so much to me. I appreciate it that you take time out of your busy schedule to hang out and chat with all of us. If you have someone who's a Star Wars fan, invite them along for next week's show so they too can join us on our Coffee with Kenobi live chats. Blake, I hope you have an awesome week too, my friend. Great to chat with you. I'm assuming you'll watch the All-Star game. Your Marlins are doing really, really well. Terry, I will catch you later too. Thanks so much for all you do. Thanks so much that all of you do for me and the show. Don't forget again, then the summer 2025, we're going to go on the Disney Wish, Coffee with Kenobi and Mouse Fan Travel. It'll be the second major Coffee with Kenobi travel experience. You got the Hyperspace Lounge and other sections of the Disney Wish that are Star Wars focused. Plus the Disney Cruise, just a really fun time anyway. Tyler, hope you have a great week. I am also grateful for you. It's easily the best place to talk Star Wars. Thanks, buddy. Keep up the great work. Good luck on that collection for sure. And I will be sure to see you all next Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on CWK Live, where we will rank our top 5 favorite Indiana Jones films. There are only 5 of them, so we're just going to rank them from least to greatest. It's going to be tricky, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you all come up with. I will see you next week, everybody. Good journey. May the stars light your way. This is the podcast you're looking for. Thanks so much, everybody. See you soon.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
this is the podcast you're looking for.